another guy who performed really well, in-state kid Illinois offered last year at this time. Familiar name, Gill, but Phoenix Gill, son of Illini legend Kendall Gill, seemed to have a strong weekend at Riverside Brookfield. Illinois, out ahead. No other high major offers at this point. Toledo, some other schools are in on him. But what do you make of Phoenix Gill's progression over the last year and really last couple months?
Yeah, so one of the top players in that class, and I think with the way he played this past weekend, I saw either full or parts of 3 of their 4 games. The Ignatius team looks very different than it did last year, where he had 2 other Division I players he was going with Richard Barron and Jackson Kotecki. They have no Division I players on that team other than him now. And so it's kind of his team. The first game I saw him, he was getting to the basket and getting fouled a lot. So I think he scored the majority of his points at the free throw line. The second game, I caught the last 10 minutes. His team was behind by a pretty significant amount. He went on an absolute tear. I think Derek was sitting at the other end of the floor for that game, and he just went on a monster tear where he was scoring absolutely at will. Athletic takes to the rim, pull-up jumpers, getting his teammates involved. He did really whatever he wanted. The only mistake he made, honestly, in that 10-minute stretch that I watched was he pulled up for a 3, and it was kind of like that Kevin Durant shot a couple of years ago. It's just a little bit on the line. And so they didn't send the game into overtime, but he was spectacular. He had 32 points in that game. And then the game against Jason and Yorkville Christian, he had 15 points, but I was most impressed with was his all-around floor game. He was getting his teammates involved. His shooter, Philip Erickson, was really hot that game. He was finding him. He can play on and off the ball, and he's a really high-level defender as well. I think that's something that Kendall was really known for throughout his career, both in college and in the NBA. And Phoenix is really starting to get those traits. And it was the first time I looked at him. Something a lot of people have talked about is he doesn't play basketball. So this was the first chance I had been able to see him since what he did in Champaign, where, he was really good in the semifinal and consolation game. He's got more defined body. You can tell he's been in the gym working. He kind of starting to look like his dad physically too. And with those long arms, that strength, those broad shoulders. He was really impressive. I think there's potentially Davion Hannah moving to Illinois. It's not for sure yet, but he played with Kenwood this weekend, top player in Wisconsin. But if he doesn't, I think you're looking at a battle of him and Alex Alston for number 1 in 2025.